There exist some principles that I find useful and healthy, but rather useful than healthy. Um, I find I find I find some principles healthy in the way in the way we think, or in the way we should conceptualize the world, and that is a reference or relative to the Kantian questions, in particular to the question like what should we do? What is it that we are to do? Uh, and Today I wanted to speak to you briefly because I've already spoken at length about what is important and how we should train our thoughts. What sort of patterns should we deploy? Because for example, um, we should we are to play chess in order to train our minds. Okay, but the different chess players deploy different patterns. They have different playing styles. So I guess the patterns that Nakamura deploys are different from the patterns that Bobby Fischer deployed. And of course, talking about Magnus Carlsen, well, I think winning is good. We have to win. So this is an interesting paradox. Winning is good, but we don't have to win at any cost whatsoever. If we're talking about the battle between good and evil, well, yes, good good and goodness and uh, the overall intention of doing good, well, that should prevail 100% in people. Okay, intention of doing good should prevail, and good people should be not only protected and advised properly, and they should also be served properly, right? Um, but that's where I think, in my opinion, that's where computer stops, because I mean, what is it that a computer is? A computer is um, a prosthetic. So I heard this in Donna Haraway, the Cyborg Manifesto. Well, and there was a school of thought in the early 90s, late 80s, I guess. And there's this thing: a computer is a prosthetic. Well, today I think a computer. So a computer is something like an office admin, office assistant. Of course, it's much more than that. It is that taken to extreme. That's the purpose of a computer system. That's what a computer is. A computer is an office assistant, an office admin, or well, in my native language we call it a secretary, but secretary is something else in English. Um, in like in certain schools in towards the eastern part of the German world, like starting in Vienna, ending in Transylvania, the western part of Romania. I mean by Transylvania I mean the western part of Romania. So in this geographical region, that is Central Eastern Europe, there exists we have some schools which are in effect they are the best aesthetic is old buildings. But I mean, we one can imagine the IKEA spirit too in these types of places, and they have these schools ranging from primary schools to secondary schools to high schools and to the tertiary system of education. They have rooms, special rooms that are called secretariats, and you can study the German version, you can study the Romanian version, and so on and so forth. And then you are going to understand something extremely deep. You are going to understand that a computer serves us, okay? And that's what a computer should do. So, I mean, do we have an issue of boundaries? Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, should there be boundaries between computers and humans? Yes, they should. There should be a boundary. For example, I don't accept for myself from my perspective, and I mean this truth should be universal. I don't accept the way pornography is deployed, and by that I don't mean that there exists a good way in which pornography should be deployed. I think pornography is an absolute bad in our lives. Okay. Why? Why is that? Well, public exposure is an absolute bad. Okay. Exposure and exhibitionism and things like that they are absolute bads. Okay. And okay, blame it on me. So blame it on me. Feel free to blame this fact, this statement on myself. So, but whenever you do that, so okay, so I don't know, please compile a 500, very dense, very deep. So 500 pages, say 11.5 or 12 treatise. So 11.5 or 12. Don't do boldface on this one. Do something refined. 11.5 or 12 point. Double spaced if you want. Yes. 500 pages. The case for deploying pornography. Okay. Please do that, and then negate everything. You know what I'm saying? Because pornography is an absolute bad in our lives. But okay, so as I said, you can blame that on me. But okay, so if you blame it on me, if you blame that fact on me, the fact that I said that pornography is an absolute bad, well, you have to tell me what the case is. Why on earth would anybody think that pornography is a good thing? You know. So it is a lot like that. So I guess the ultimate goal is perfecting the mind. Okay, and but we shouldn't forget about our other faculties like feeling empathy. Okay, so so between these two, between empathy and justice, so which comes first? And of course justice comes before empathy. um, they are both very important. They are both highly important principles, yet justice comes first. And I mean, I'm talking preventive justice too. I'm talking preventive justice. I'm not a huge fan of retribution. injustice. I think a good system prevents things from happening, and that it's a subtlety there. And well, people will people that are versed and highly skilled in the system of justice, they will know that um, and so well so when I'm saying this, well, I'm addressing people like Senator Kennedy, right? People that have spent all of their times on the just all of their lives, sorry, all of their lives on the bench, uh, in the profession of justice. And well, these people know that first of all, corruption in the justice system is a huge no. But then they will know that um, they will understand that this is after a huge a huge amount of time. I mean, and a huge amount of life experience they have gathered. They will understand this fact that well, preventive justice is where is where we strive towards, right? And that's perfecting society in general, and perfecting is not perfecting the individual, it's perfecting the system and perfecting society. And that is well, that is an important lesson that we are to learn, that preventive justice is by far more important than retribution in justice. Because well, when the battle ends, the wounds remain. And well, is it is it common sense to ask for a wound or a scar, or I mean, there's deeper wounds. There's wounds in there exist wounds of the soul. There exist wounds of the spirit. And is it sensible to ask for these wounds? Is it sensible to ask from the judge for these wounds to be healed? I mean, that's not sensible. A Christian would display his wounds. Of course, that's not the same thing as exhibitionism, but absolutely not the same thing. But let's just leave it at that. Preventive justice is of uttermost importance in our society, and for that reason, the pieces that come together, yes, in a Zen fashion, the pieces that we create in our civilization, in our environment, well, they should bind together in a harmonious fashion. Okay, so anything that you conceive as a piece in a system, well, they should fit together really well. And yes, in a Zen fashion, in a um, very very Japanese fashion, our pieces, whatever you conceive by a piece in a system, it could be it could be a software system, it could be a piece of code, or it could be um, the way I am arranging my room, right? Um, it could be the way the way I'm arranging my books, the books I have in my library, um, in but back in Western Australia, in Perth. So the way a librarian would arrange books on a shelf. Well, we should strive for harmony, and the system deployed should be harmonious in any possible way. And of course, God and God, and the concept of God and godliness, the Ten Commandments, and other many precepts that teach us many precepts of a good provenance, originating from people that intend that have good intentions. Okay, well, these um, these precepts should be followed at a semantic level. Okay. Now I wanted to so today I wanted to speak to you briefly about the chakras. The I wanted to touch briefly on the 7 chakras that the human body displays, and I wanted to speak to you about the meaning of these. Well, that's in my understanding, okay. And I wanted to introduce the idea of chakra as a guiding principle, but I'm not going to tell you what a chakra. I'm not so please. Well, I must tell you what a chakra is, but I'm not going to stress what a chakra is, because well, that's not for me to stress. I'm going to say what you should think more about, like, what a chakra is not, because well, there may arise heresies in our understanding of what chakras are. Okay, and the whole system of chakra. I mean, the supreme heresy would be to start writing bad fiction about what these are, and start teaching all sorts of hyper heresies about the chakras themselves, and well, that would be a bad thing in itself. All right, so I guess this is an everlasting principle. This should be this in effect, what this should be is guide us, guide us and guide our thinking as long as possible. Okay, so we should we should stress, and I should stress, that this is abstract. So say suppose we're talking about the heart chakra. Well, the heart is the heart may be equated with courage at some level of this multi dimensional gestalt. So I'm just giving you an example of, right now I'm giving you an example of a possible heresy concerning the chakras. So okay, so heart equated at some level, a very fine grained level, equate the heart with courage, and then and then and then somebody would think that, okay, so defeat your enemy, grab his heart from their chest, and eat their heart in order to increase in your courage. Okay, so now extend this to the brain, extend this to any part of the body that you would like. Now give me a 5,000 page treatise on why this is the case, and then, well, chuck it in the rubbish bin. in the way that I said before. Because, well, I don't see the connection, and it is far from correct. I mean, do we need Pali for this? Is there anything in Pali that resembles or induces us or anybody else into this type of heresy? Give me a 5,000 pages, as I said before, 11.5 or 12 point double spaced. Please don't use bold script. Okay, so give me a treatise on these, for a treatise that argues for cannibalism. Okay, make it as coherent as possible. I don't want to see contradictions. Where does this lead us? Does it lead us into breaking the first covenant? I do have a saying somewhere, a speech, a lecture somewhere on the idea of what a covenant is. So which covenant do we break when we engage in cannibalism? Right? No, okay, never mind the kosher diet. I mean, kosher is not for everybody, and well, I mean, you could eat kosher. Kosher is more about like a sense of hygiene in your kitchen, you know. It's of course it's much more than that, but you know that there's a huge distance between the idea of kosher and then cannibalism. So give me this treatise on why cannibalism is advisable, and then chuck it in the rubbish, negate it, and throw it away from what we stand for as global human civilization altogether. Now, what is it that drawn me towards, say, Buddhism in general and Mahayana in particular, Zen in particular? Because okay, Theravada, Mahayana. We can think about this. Yes, the antinomy Theravada Mahayana, but okay, it all converges. So there's sort of different paths, but they will converge to the same reality eventually. Don't worry about that. But okay, so I like the aesthetics. I like it very much. Okay, so in a very superficial sense, you will say. So do you feel attracted to Japanese script because you like doodling? Well, that's not what it is. I like the aesthetics. I like it very, very much. And I mean, what is that strikes one about aesthetics? Well, look at the colors. Look at the colors, and well, that's for me. It's not for everybody. It- but okay. So am I the sober type? Well, I'm not always the sober type. The sober and conservative type of person. I'm not always like that, but that's what I like. That is what I wish I was. Because well, it is natural to wish for yourself to be a person that you like very much. Okay, so without further elaboration, I've given you. So we are already 24 minutes and something into this lecture. So without further delay, I'm going to talk to you about the chakras. So let's look at them holistically first. So There's seven of them, and they describe the human body. There's no leg chakra because well, below the lowest chakra, the legs the legs are not that unified. There's no hands chakra either. Okay. Now let's get into root. So let us begin. So the root chakra. Well, um, oh, by the way, I've given you colors. Don't associate chakras with colors. Chakras are point in the body. Okay. Don't even associate. So, uh, colors, associating colors to chakras. Well, that's for humans. Okay. Don't even associate chakras with the colors in the chakras with, I don't know, what's green relative to yellow. Okay, what is, by the way, what is green relative to yellow? What is yellow relative to green? Okay, that doesn't make sense. So okay, don't think colors. Okay, so colors in chakra, like, okay, so we associate the red with the root chakra in this picture. Well, no, the root is not red. The root just is the sacral chakra. Well, that's not orange. That just is. Okay. The solar plexus. So the heart is green. Well, yes, the heart should be healthy. That is correct, but the heart chakra just is. The throat. The throat is something that's blue. How should we speak? Well, it's how should we speak? How should the heart be? Well, that's not for me to say. So if you look in this picture, the throat chakra is an interesting form of blues, and well, it's not up to me to say how people should speak, and the kind of things people should say to pass a test. That's not up to that is, first of all, that's not up to me to say. That's not up to a computer to say. Well, but at the same time, we should have guiding principles. Okay. We should do things that are healthy. We should not engage in negative things, and we should as human beings, we should dwell in healthy things mostly. So in that way, the heart should be green. Yes, I mean, we should only do things that are healthy. Indulging in human flesh, taking in protein of a human nature, well, that's unhealthy to the max. Food hygiene is important. So everything from food hygiene to, I don't know, respecting your elders, everything that goes in between, and everything that goes in between is highly important. But most importantly, so the root should not be red. That's not that's not so fire. That's not the element. The root is not identified with fire, with heat. Okay. Well, not necessarily. It can be. For some person that may be the case. For some people that may not be the case. Okay, but that's not for everybody. We aren't standardizing people here. We're not dwelling in eugenics. Okay, we're not creating standards of what reality should look like. We are creating standards of morality, standards of ethics, standards of thinking. Well, no, standards of meta thinking, methodology, pedagogy. Well, you can have standards and guiding principles in these ones. Like I've read on the website of the Yunnan monastery that they consider themselves they consider their lineage to be prestigious. Well, in my opinion they are deploying sarcasm there. Lineage is not prestigious or non-prestigious. Lineage is, well, a school can be prestigious, yes, depending on the results of the school, you know. uh, there should exist competitions between people, but um, you know, don't take this to extreme, because, well, um, winning at any cost, well, that to me, okay, so to myself, winning at any cost, well, that's just one step deduction. If you're going to say, if you're going to tell to a child that it's important to win at any cost, well, that leads into cheating, okay, in my opinion. So let's take it easy a little bit on this one. Let's not get so crazy about winning. But of course, when it comes to spiritual things, we have to win. Okay, and a line, a boundary must be an a straight line, well delineated boundary should be drawn between what is acceptable and what is not. You know, cannibalism isn't at any cost, right? So I guess it's like that. So, talking about the root chakra or the sacral chakra or the solar plexus so I have a heart chakra here. So apparently there's a heart chakra and a solar plexus chakra. Okay. That's a little bit counterintuitive. But talking about the root chakra, don't a person cannot be identified with a root chakra. A person, like, in general, a human being, a person that's made out of flesh and blood, will not be identified with one chakra. Okay, that's heresy. And what is heresy? Heresy is falsity. Okay, so who am I? I'm Valentin. Okay, I don't know. I'm Valentin. Pick a chakra. I'm Valentin. I'm speech. I'm the throat chakra. Can can I say that about myself? All I am is speech. Well, that's falsity. And okay, so repeat that for any chakra. Is that all that I am? Well, no. The other type of, so I've presented to you the chakras here. So the other type of heresies is that in between any chakra there's another chakra, and do that inductively to infinity. I guess, well, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay, so for example, between the so in the sacral, well, that's the gut level, you know. That's what we're told. People get a gut level feeling if something bad is about to happen. Well, that's just one aspect out of a myriad of aspects about the sacral chakra. But okay, so between sacral and the solar plexus, that's an interesting region there. Well, don't think there's a chakra there, because there isn't. Okay, in a similar fashion. Okay, the three head chakras: throat, eyes, the third eye, so the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Well, they shouldn't be identified, right? And they shouldn't be separated by other chakras. So okay, so between the throat and the third eye, well, is that do we so between the throat and the third eye, there exists roughly a region that can be called speech. Yet one doesn't identify the third eye with the throat. In the same way, and I'm going to end here. I'm going to end with this piece of knowledge that I gathered. So there exists a thing called the third eye, and there exists a thing called the crown. Okay, we all have them, right? But okay, in between there's the forehead. Okay, and there's no chakra there, guys. There exists no chakra in between the crown and the third eye. Get that straight, okay? Because it's a heresy that bothers me to the max. To the max.